Some people are so dumb that I genuinely wonder how they survive from one day to the next. And then I remember that jellyfish have survived for 650 million years with no brain. So I guess if they can do it.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Hey all, how are you doing? Still not home yet. It's been a week. Like, what are we doing? We are heading back. We're going to probably miss Bryan coming in. But FEMA did get back to me. So I'm going back home and getting my damn roof fixed, right? So I'm happy about that. I hope everybody is having a happy new year. Lots of stuff has come out, in this case. What took us back to, Mascow, Idaho? Well, Olivia was reached out to, just to kind of rewind a little bit. If you guys are new to this chat room, I'm Bullhorn Betty. If you're new to this case is of the Idaho 4. I don't know who doesn't know about this case, but just in case, is 4 university students that were slain in their sleep in off-campus housing right on the outskirts of the University of Idaho campus. They were, according to the autopsy, all killed by stabbing. It was homicide by stabbing is the cause of death. And since then, this case has just, garnered national and worldwide attention. We made a trip out here a few weeks ago when all we knew is they were killed and they were looking for a knife. We really didn't have a whole lot of information. People were speculating about who it could be. We brought up some names. We were, looking in different avenues as to what could have provoked something like this. And I needed to know. Our audience needed to know. We try to be very cautious of, victims, families, friends of victims. We never want to blame anybody that does not deserve it in any way. I mean, you hurt somebody, I can't help you, right? But we don't want to injure innocent people that are already suffering. So we came out and we looked into everything pretty much. I mean, all that we could while we were here. The first trip, there was definitely a lot more people than there are right now. There was a hands down massive amount of people here compared to now. It is literally a ghost town in Mascow, Idaho, as well as Pullman, Washington. The interesting thing is that we actually were one of the first channels that brought in Washington State University into this mix, asking if it was possible that the assailant went to the school that wasn't too far away. And how we ran into that is because of where we stayed the first time. We actually stayed in Pullman, Washington to save a little money because the Airbnb and hotels were much more expensive in Mascow, Idaho, not knowing of the connection. And we just happened to go to a coffee house that was literally right across the street from an entrance, and we're looking over there and it said Washington State University. And we're like, kind of looking at each other and saying, what if? I mean, we think this is a college age kid. So what this person didn't come from the University of Idaho. So we did a skit. I don't even remember when it was. We did it some time ago about Washington State University, not even thinking that we were going to be circling right back to that very place. It was insane. I have to be honest with you. A lot of things. Oh, and another thing, when we got to Mascow, Idaho for the first time and visited that house for the first time, if you guys recall, like literally my first live is saying, guys, this is much different. And I even said, this goes well beyond an entanglement. This goes well beyond a petty issue. This goes well beyond these, these things. Are we entertaining, and have we entertained other theories? Of course we have. But when we went live out in front of that house, I told everybody, this is not what we think. We're going to be, finding out this is somebody we're not even looking at. It's somebody on the peripheral. This is not somebody in their inner network. This is not somebody that's in their inner circle. This is somebody on the outskirts. I was talking about, this wasn't sexually motivated. This was a power thing. I mean, to be honest with you guys, outside of a few minor details, and sorry if the internet is a little spotty. I'm not sure if it is or not, but if it is, it's because I'm in a hotel, and we know streaming in a hotel is not the best. So, and I can't turn my hotspot on because I don't think it gets reception in the building. So it's nice to see you guys all in here today, but it was crazy, kind of scary, crazy. And I even looked at Olivia and I said, some of this stuff, I don't know how I know, I just know. And I don't know if it's intuition. I don't know if it's, just knowledge that I've garnered over the years. I really don't know. But when I get to someplace, and I always tell you guys that it's much different in person than it'll ever be online or any article that you can read. And this is, again, no different than every other case we physically were present on. We say this all the time, hands down, always a different vibe. You just feel things being there in living color than you do through the camera lens. And I just remember when I looked at that house, was learning about the house, walking around that community. Our first trip out there, we spoke to the neighbor, Jeremy, which kind of gave us a little more insight into everything. And if you guys are writing in the chat and you're wanting me to read it, I'm not really reading the chat right now. I have it paused at right about 6:36 at the current time right now. And 6:36 my time. East Coast would be 9:36. And it's 6:44, 9:44 East Coast. So just watch that. And, if you want to slow up the chat yourselves, you may. But I will be going through and answering some questions, but I'm not following the chat. I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that. But when we got there, we spoke to Jeremy, and Jeremy kind of filled us in on, what lights were out. He filled us in on, the kind of the noise issue and the fact that this was kind of the party house. Nobody really paid attention because it was always happening and always busy. And so I don't know why they were targeted. There are a few things that come to mind. There is something that I would like to share that I can't because, it'll be coming out in, on the 5th when we release the interview with Mr. Gonzalez and family. We had Kaylee's father, her mother, and her sister in an interview. We actually met them for lunch. It was, just got to learn. We didn't really do any interview or anything like that. We just all got, just decided to get to know one another, meet each other. And they talked to us about some stuff, about Kaylee's life, and it was just, and Maddie's. I mean, it was, if you got one, you got both. And I think that was the sentiments, of everything that they've done since their death. We didn't know them prior to their death, unfortunately. They seem like great kids. I have to be honest. I know that there was a whole thing about the Mean Girls Club, making its way around, but from where we're finding and what we're hearing, that wasn't the case. Kaylee was very determined, but not nasty or mean. And apparently Maddie was just an angel. She was just the sweetest thing ever. Like, nobody had anything bad to say about Maddie. Maddie was just the sweet girl next door. So it's really, really odd. We did learn a few things. Like I said, I can't really share right now. Those will be coming out on the 5th. But, we really didn't learn too much about Xana or Ethan either. And could all three of the girls been targeted? I really don't know. I can tell you, and I may be wrong about this, but I just can't get off of it. And I said it to Olivia several times, and I don't think she's quite on board with it. I guess we will learn more as information comes out, but I almost feel like he came here to do this. And I don't know why I can't shake that feeling. I just can't. I keep looking at the, geographic areas of where he lived in this college, and it just, something's off about it. Like, the program here, it's a PhD program at Washington State University. While it's good, there were comparable, if not better, programs closer to his home. So why did he truck all the way to the other side of the country to go to school for his PhD program? It doesn't really make sense to me. And the fact that he was only here 3 to 4 months before committing such a heinous act, and in being such a criminology, he has a master's in criminology and working on his PhD. That to me is very, very scary. It sounds to me like he had a fascination with serial killers. Dolly Vision, he said he's getting serial killer vibes. And it's looking like that statement is accurate. I thought it was a college kid. I thought there was something more going on, before I got here, but a lot of my opinion changed as soon as I got in front of that house. I knew that there was something more sinister going on. And I came here, I'm like, you guys just might as well just throw all the kids out, because it just doesn't feel like the kids. It doesn't feel like the kids around that community. We saw amber lights in Maddie's window. And, I hope if anybody from any of these victims' families are in this chat room, I'd rather you not be here. With all due respect, it's just some of the stuff we talk about, I don't think families need to be hearing. But either way, those amber lights, I don't know what kind of light she has, but I remember a case similar in nature. And they were talking about the amber lights. And it just kind of flashed in my head when Olivia was taking the videos, that conversation of them saying those weren't amber lights. There was so much blood that they covered the lights, and it made an amber glow. And it makes me sick to my stomach. But hearing, how graphic this crime scene was, it's not unthinkable to think that amber room really wasn't amber. I have to imagine that it was just like every other room, but it sounds like that was the most brutal, was in their room. The probable cause affidavit will be released very soon. I'm literally like on pins and needles with this probable cause affidavit. Like, I want to see what is in this probable cause affidavit. I seriously do. It is driving me nuts. I want to know what happened. How did he meet him? We went over to the Coug. The Coug is on Washington State University. Susanna and Bree, they watch here. They do a lot of work. I'm sure it's probably it may be more. I don't know whose hands are all in it. I don't pay attention. Just somebody funnels the information to me. So whoever was working on that, thank you so much. But the Coug is on Washington State University property and is actually appears to be owned by the fraternity or fraternities. I'm not sure which. And lo and behold, Xana was there. These colleges are so close together to think that the students don't commingle. I mean, I even interviewed a guy that lives near, like on the outskirts of Washington State University, but commutes over to the University of Idaho. So they're really connected. And the reason why he's over there is because it's cheaper in Washington for housing than it is in Idaho, or I guess near the universities or whatever, but he commutes, and so he was affected at home and at school by this crime, as many students were. What else did we learn out there? We learned a lot, and we kind of stopped our whole entire itinerary once this man was named. As you guys were seeing live, we were learning of everything. We just happened to go out there to the front of the house. The crews were coming in, the cleanup crews, and we started, seeing them pop the back out, pop up a tent and stuff like that. And I thought maybe they put an oxidizing machine in there or something to neutralize whatever chemicals they were. You never know. You're just thinking. You're using problem solving and critical thinking skills. I mean, the last thing I actually thought was that the court was going to stop them from cleaning the property. But right, literally, as they're there, we're learning that a subject was arrested in connection with these crimes, and everybody's just on the internet. So a few names came out that had nothing to do with this crime. But after, I think we said Jason Elkins, I think, was the first name. And quite frankly, he looked more like the person I would have expected to do something like this than this guy, Bryan Kohberger. Bryan Kohberger's name popped up within like 5 or 10 minutes after us talking about this Jason Elkins guy. And apparently this Jason Elkins guy was picked up on some grand theft or something or other, and people just mixed up the names and started funneling it out. And but we did get, like, within 5-10 minutes, we had Bryan Kohberger's name, and I start looking him up, and it's like, because I remember, who was it? Was it Barbara? Barbara, was it you in here? I think it was Barbara. Barbara's like, what does a killer look like? Right? I'm like, if you see this guy's face, you'll know. And then I'm like, okay, well, he's not it, right? And then we look at it, and I'm like putting my foot in my mouth, right? And here we have this guy that looks seemingly freaking normal. I mean, he's not the best looking thing in the to see, but I mean, in all accounts, he looks normal. And then, of course, gotta love the internet, right? Gotta love social media. Before long, somebody's got Bundy's photo next to his photo, and holy crap, right? Was it Bundy? No, it wasn't Bundy. Who was it? Was it Jeffrey Dahmer? I don't know. Who does he look like? Bundy or Dahmer? I don't know. But I find this awfully funny that, all this is on the heels of the Dahmer movie coming out. Did that inspire him a little more? I don't know. But I'm telling you, there's just something deep in my gut. Now, I know that he had to have crossed paths with at least one of these victims. And I'm thinking it might have been all three, to be honest with you, because Xana was part of their circle there, and we did see Xana at the Coug. So we definitely know the girls go over to Washington to that college and have been known to go to frat parties or, frat type bars in that community. So did they run across this guy then? We're hearing stories coming out where he is, going to restaurants or going to bars, and if somebody turns him down, he doesn't like it. We're hearing that, he stalked these girls for a while, but what made him stalk them? Did he hit on Kaylee and Kaylee turn him down, or Maddie or Xana? Did he find them because of the questionnaire that was filled out, 200 days or, 200 plus days ago, before he ever even got here? He had this whole questionnaire that apparently a professor helped him with that, for his master thesis, for his master's degree in criminology. And I find out he really didn't use it for his master's thesis or something like that, if I was reading the article correctly. So it's like, I just felt, after hearing all the stuff that we're hearing coming out, if everything is true, just sounds to me like this has been going on in his head for some time. That he has a problem feeling inferior. So anybody that's around him has to be inferior, so he feels superior. The superiority complex. That when I felt that, I'm telling you, you could tell this was power driven. This was not sexually motivated. This was, he could do it. He wanted to do it. He wanted to feel what it was like to do it. We're hearing that people at his school, he was kind of a student, a teacher's aide, and they talk about him, grading papers and being so anal about a lot of the stuff that he would literally write crap all over their paper and grade it. And they said he almost had a pep in his step, even though he didn't contribute a lot to, a lot to the schools and a lot to the conversation, because he went back to school and they did talk about these murders. And they said, even though he's always very authoritarian and very pushy and, has to always kind of be right or let his position be known, when it came to this murder, he was pretty much very quiet, silent. And they didn't really think anything of it. I think the students were just happy that they didn't get all their papers with writing all over it, right? But this guy actually trained under a famed, everybody knows, the famed book author that actually, spoke to killers, BTK. It's just, she's interviewed him. So it's almost like, did he pick this career path because of his fascination? I'm seriously starting to think that. That's how sick I think this dude is. He's twisted. He's twisted. And you know what? The killings are senseless. Sorry, guys. Okay, so now that I'm kind of, we got a lot of stuff I'm trying to peruse through here real quick, and then I'll get to some of your questions. Yeah, if there's there's over 850 people in the chat right now. If you have not liked this video, please like this video. We're going to be going over some stuff. I've dropped a lot of videos here lately with some interviews. There's not a lot of people on campus. It's literally a ghost town there. Ghost town. But I can tell you there's a lot of interesting videos, especially between, Maddie and Kaylee's, Maddie, King Road and Bryan Kohberger's apartment. We drove that several different ways so you guys could get a good look at where the driving was, what it looked like. We actually, I think the last video I uploaded is actually the video from that apartment. And there's two different ways that there's three different ways that he could have left. Four if he's going to climb a fence, which that chain link makes too much noise, so I don't see that happening. But there's four different ways to leave the chain link fence back to Walinda or whatever that is, that road that's behind there. I don't think that's plausible. But he could have went out and walked down, Queen to King to Taylor. There's those steps that literally go right in front of that, smack in front of that house, that take you to that front door. There's steps right across there that goes through a apartment parking lot and a car could be waiting down there, and that's near the hydrant where you saw them pick up a black jacket. And then down further is where you saw them shining the black light and spraying luminol near an apartment complex. We did find that location. So you guys will want to go check that out. We also had a full interview of somebody that knew Bryan when he was a kid about 9 years ago. They were friends, and he kind of goes into a lot of personality stuff. And we talked to the lady downstairs from them. And although she had, there was like a language barrier a little bit there because she's not from here, but you could still understand almost everything she has. But she stays in her house a lot. She'll take her daughter out in the stroller, you know, for a little walk and stuff like that. And I think she just saw a lot of people out there. I think she mistaken because even when she was telling us about the white Elantra, it didn't make sense. We knew it was in Pennsylvania, but I think there was just a lot of people out there. And maybe she just didn't know what was going on, or she was confused, or she thought the other white car, which I didn't see in Elantra, but there was a few white cars out there. You know, maybe she just thought that one of those cars, maybe a bunch of news people were coming out, and she just thought it was, I don't know. But she did have that wrong. But what she did tell us was really crazy. Oh, hey, House of Williams. I just noticed you're in here. Sorry, love bug. I hope you're doing well. But she, you know, talks about strange behaviors, him being up all hours of the night. And she says it's very quiet in there during the day and just all moving about during the night. So it sounds like this man wasn't sleeping. It sounds like he has an obsessive compulsive disorder of some sort. Obviously, he has, you know, some, I can't even remember that, whatever the name is. It's alexithymia or something like that, where you can't feel emotion. Let's ask Google. What mental illness that you have that you don't show emotion? Well, it's already did it. I screwed that up, didn't I? Okay, let me try that again. Mental illness. Lack of emotion. Let's see. Alexithymia, I think is what it is. I don't know. That's what it's not. It's a condition. It's not Guidance would know how to pronounce this. She's probably laughing at me right now. It's not a condition in its own right, but rather the inability to identify and describe emotions. That sounds exactly what everybody has been describing. Something happened. I don't know what, but everything I'm finding out about Bryan Kohberger, something happened in his teenage years. He was heavy set, and it's almost like that's when he snapped. It wasn't recently. It seems like he snapped back then, because after that he had this massive weight loss. It was described as over 100 pounds of weight loss. He started going on this I don't know if that was back then, but we do know he had a massive vegan diet, and he was very, very trained on that. His friends said he got into all this kickboxing stuff. So he had something happen where he was either emasculated, or something happened to that boy where something kicked in and took over, made him lose weight, made him start working out, made him start, he started being nasty to people, putting other people down, where maybe the abuse, this is a classic case where the abused became the abuser, and maybe some twisted thoughts went into it. I don't know, but something didn't just happen. Something happened way back here in his childhood that now full circle is here. We're learning his mom and dad are some of the nicest people. We've heard that from multiple people that knew this family, that grew up with him. A lot of the people, a lot of his childhood friends that he grew up with, you will find out he's not friends with anymore. You'll find out he's not really friends with a whole lot of people, quite frankly. Everybody describes him as weird, odd, gives them a bad vibe, gives them a bad feeling. They're nice to him, but they keep him at an arm's length. Girls, there was a situation where one girl, her friend thought he was cute. I personally, I don't think he's my type. He doesn't, but he's got to be somebody's type, right? So anyways, this girl wanted to date him, and apparently, she did. And she's like, they didn't last or anything. Everybody, when she started dating him, there was a lot of things. She went to church and stuff like that, and she met him at church. But he started saying some weird things like, what if I was did Satan? I can't remember exactly how she said it, but it had to do with that, and they thought it was odd. And when he showed up in a robe to her work, just some oddball stuff. And it just turned her off. But her friend said she just never really hung out with him. She saw him once or twice, but she never really hung out with him because she got a bad vibe from him. She didn't feel comfortable around him. And we're finding out that this is the same sentiments that we're hearing from like literally 90 to 95% of everybody in his background. Just odd duck. But the weird thing is the professors teaching the criminology programs get no red flags. None. Like, what? So all these people in and around him are getting odd, weird vibes, feelings, da-da-da. But the people teaching the effing criminology, no clue. No clue whatsoever. Write books about these people. No clue. Something, to me, there's something wrong with that picture. If you ask me, I'm just saying. Betty, it's criminal defense paralegal from South Carolina. Hope you're well. I'm a criminology degree holder as well. Very interesting. I don't know how well my internet's working. Leaf lover Liz. If you're still in the chat room, I know we're kind of like 20 minutes behind in reading the comments. I'm certainly happy to hear your perspective. It's criminal defense paralegal. I'm interested in learning here. I'll just throw you a link if you want to. I don't know if my internet will allow it, but we'll definitely try. So Leaf Lover Liz, you're the only one that I want in here. If you can give us some insight on, the criminology degree program. I know you're in a different state, but if you can give us some insight, I'm definitely happy to listen, and I'm sure my audience is happy to listen to as well. Also, Kelly under Chandeliers, nice to see you. Hi. And she says, I can just put it up here. I thought it was sweet. Just so you know, your strength to fight back for what is right, your consistent reminders of the importance to know the law has really inspired and motivated me. Thank you. Well, thank you. That was a very sweet. I love inspiring people. Long before I was Bullhorn Betty, I was still out there inspiring primarily women. Those were the people that I tried to, but it was for political purposes, which I don't really bring a whole lot of politics here on this channel, except unless it's advocating for laws that help victims. Right now, I'm on the diatribe of we need a centralized database for our kids in the alphabet soup we call welfare across this country. You should be able to go in there, type in a social security number, and get a full report on every contact that person has. I'm sorry, from state to state, I don't care. If a social worker needs to find out information, they should have everything readily at their fingertips at all times. It keeps them safe, it keeps law enforcement safe, and it keeps the bad guys from being able to lie. So, those types of things we're advocating for on a political level. Every time I get an opportunity to be in front of a politician, I do pitch that. it's going to take a while for something like, this is going to cost a lot of money. So I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to have to wait until it gets so bad and make a lot of, some noise around the country. We'll see, but it's for the kids, so it's for a good cause. But either way, those are the only kind of politics that we get in. But before that, I did actually inspire women, predominantly women around this country, to get involved, and gave them the blueprint and helped them set up whatever, groups and clubs and everything that they needed to do. So this is, I'm very proud of what I'm able to do. I feel like what I'm doing now has more meaning and more purpose. I still contribute to my community, just not as much, but that will be changing because that is one of the goals that I have for 2023. I hope everybody out there, just for a little side note before we get back into this disgusting case, I don't do resolutions. I do goals. And I hope everybody in my chat follows suit, right? So goals have metrics, okay? Resolutions usually don't. So what does that mean? So it means that if I say I'm going to be more involved in my community, I write specifically how I can be more involved in the community and what steps I'm going to take to make sure I'm more involved in the community. And then I'm going to have a time in which I check back to make sure I am holding myself accountable to my goals. That is the most important thing that you can do for yourself in 2023. So my number one goal for 2023 is to inspire my audience to do goals. Do you know the most successful people in the world? They have written goals. So if you're wondering why you're not successful, maybe you should try something new. It might be your secret sauce. Just saying. Okay, about 99.999%. He was at the oh guys, I you know what? I have to agree. This whole vigil thing. I even told Olivia, is literally the day. You guys saw us pause, mute the mic, turn off cameras and stuff like that. We were talking about all that, and as soon as we heard that he was a Wazoo University student, that just came to our heads. I told her, I said, we need to go back through our footage and find out if he was there. Because if you guys remember, we were there. The problem is we weren't in the audience. We were on the media stage in the back. So I'm hoping that I've got something on a live. I know Olivia was going down in the arena, and she was walking because, they did allow people to go out there and take photography in the grassy area. But, the media stayed away from the people that were going there for, that were friends from the school and stuff like that. We had our own area and everybody else had their own area. So I believe he was there. If there is anything that I believe, it's because this was to me a thrill kill. That's what this was. This is a man that's effed up, very angry. We're finding out. I'm telling you, I scare myself sometimes how good we were. Dolly got the whole, serial killer vibe right. He did get that. But the description that I got, to be honest with you, it was pretty spot on. If you go back and listen. We discussed this guy. Everybody was like, who do you think it is? I don't know. And I kept saying that. I don't know the guy's name. I don't know what his name is, but this is who we're looking for. Seriously. It freaked me out. I have to be honest. It freaked me out. Bundy. Okay, so we're getting down to the Bundy, my question. Okay, thank you guys for so he did look like Bundy. Brian Entons from News Nation. He followed the Brian Laundrie case, and now this one, Bryan Kohberger. Kohberger, that's a lot of Brian's. Yeah. And Brian is over in PA right now. Like, I got to tell you guys, know when I look at things, I look at things. I was literally working before going live, trying to get my plane ticket to Pennsylvania. The problem is, is I will lose my luggage in the process. If I go to Pennsylvania, my luggage still goes to Florida. That's what I was told. I said, okay, there's no way you can pull it. He's like, well, you can talk to the people at the gate. And I'm thinking, they're going to tell me they can do it. And so we know we're going to go without luggage. And so I was still working on it. You know, Olivia and I were talking about, because she's got like a little duffel bag that I could actually, you know, pack some clothes in and take it on as a carry-on. And her and mom can take my suitcase and I'll just pick it up when I get back home. Then I get the message from FEMA and it's like, shit. Well, if all the signs aren't telling me I got to go back to Florida, I've got to go back to Florida. Not only that, but Leilani's hearing's coming up on January 11th. And I've got reservations to be there. So it's like, you know, and then I'm thinking PA, by the time I get to PA, that asshole's going to be here where I'm at. So I figured, you know, a lot of this stuff I can garner from the news organizations that are already there, because to be honest with you, whether I get the vibe or not while I'm there, this, that, and the other, you know, yeah, we would like to hear more about his childhood. Yeah, we would, but it's not all over and said and done. You know, me going there in a week later or so, the information is still going to be the same, because apparently he's not really liked by a whole lot of people. So it's just, you know, and it seems like everybody that really did or was his friend, he pushed away. Like and it started, and then he had the big horrible drug problem too. And we've got confirmation that he stole money from one guy who was trying to get some weed, and they said he was just a bad dude. Something was wrong with him. He said he just wanted to get out of the car. He said he never really did anything violent or terrifying, but something didn't seem right, and he had this vibe like scared him, and never seen him again. And he said and Bryan told him he was robbed, and he said he never thought he was robbed. But see, I think what he did is he took that guy's money and went and got H with it, because even John Doe number one, his sister was unknowingly driving him around to cop as well, right? To cop H, and unbeknownst to her. So he had a real bad drug problem. He's had a real bad attitude problem. He's, you know, he doesn't understand the human emotion. Like, I'm just, you know, I'm not sure. And I think other people, like, and everything kind of comes full circle now, you know, now that we know who we're dealing with, now that we know he's kind of a sicko, it makes you wonder about that stinking dog that was skinned, right? Because let's be honest, law enforcement did kind of play us for fools in reality. And you know, I'm not complaining about it. You know, they did their job. You know, they have to move their chess pieces where they need to move their chess pieces for the sake of the case, and God bless them for doing that. But let's be honest, they told us it was a 2011 to 2013 Hyundai. It was not. It was a 2015. Do they have like body styles? I'm sure. But see, they could have extended that to 2015 knowing that, because they knew the body styles were similar enough that they could have said, you know, 2011 through 2015. They didn't. They did that. They also told us that they didn't really find the whole stalking thing to be accurate. They couldn't figure that, and we're hearing out in the great. Now, granted, we're hearing not from law enforcement, so we have to take that as speculation or rumor, because it's not coming from law enforcement. But a lot of the stuff we hear, you know, is accurate at times. This is a good reason why we should stay off Reddit and stay off 4chan when trying to decipher stuff, because anybody can just throw up anything. Think of how many times think about how many times the Davids, we never even discussed the Davids. Like, the Davids were going around and how they did it, and they did it in 19 minutes, and they did this. We didn't even discuss it. Like, you know, this is a year in. Like, I've you know, kind of seasoned after everything thrown at me. I realize there's trolls out there. That's why I'm so cautious about you know, how we take information, and why I'm so careful to make sure you guys know that this is rumored, or this is speculation, or this, you know, this is fact. Because of that, you know, it's very hard to decipher some of this stuff. But I have learned that, you know, take a step back, look at it before before you take it. You just have to. So all these Davids, the Sigma Chi fraternity, which still the Sigma Chi fraternity may be involved in part, but not like we were thinking. It may have just been a ground where all these people may have met, as opposed to something more nefarious going on or something like that. So we have to look at that. But right now we're trying to figure out the connection between them, because I think that's important. There is a reason why these people were selected. There's been a lot of people that has pissed this man off, many years. I'm sure everybody, based on his frustration and superiority needs and things of that nature, I'm pretty sure somebody's already rubbed him the wrong way once or twice before, has blown him off. They didn't get killed. Why this house? And that brings me back to why I truly believe he went to Washington State University with the knowledge that he was going to commit this act long before he ever did. That is just my opinion. I've got no factual basis for that. It's just an instinct that's in me that says that that is a plausible explanation as to why he was there and why he was only there 3 months before committing this heinous and despicable act. I believe this was planned. I also said I believe that he had been to that house before and watched and was going to commit this act sooner, but chickened out. And I just, whenever I saw the back of that house, I mean, I described this on one of my live where he's just sitting there with that knife, saying, he's getting his brain ready to do this. I mean, do I know that happened for a fact? Absolutely not. But that's what I feel. I feel like he coaxed himself in there. He's been there a couple times. He didn't have the balls to do it those couple times. And he knows that if he's going to get Kaylee, it's now or never, because she's not living in that house no more. Was she the target? I don't know that for a fact. But what I can tell you is that it sure looks like these girls were targeted. It doesn't look like this house was targeted, from my opinion and from my views. The subjects in the house, one or more of the subjects in the house, were the target of this crime. And so I'm trying to figure out the connection as to where they met. What were they doing? How did they not know that this man was following them around? Was he truly the stalker that she was referring to? And how did she meet him? And why did she not go to the authorities? I don't know. Maybe she thought it was innocent or harmless. I don't know. Okay. I don't think he tossed his knife because it had sentimental value of his trophies he killed. Yeah, but he's also a criminology major. So I kind of believe he pitched the knife. I don't know when I asked Olivia, and she thinks he pitched the knife within 24 hours of committing the crime. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the whole, pitch the knife thing. And if he couldn't have it in his possession, he would put it someplace that he might frequent. So I still kind of feel that the knife is pitched somehow. But I was looking on, let me go through these. Some interesting stuff. I don't know why I didn't think about this earlier. So it actually led me to do some, work on, what happened in and around the whole, right after the case and stuff like that. And I went on Pullman, and I'm starting to read their, they have a calendar in here that you can go back and read their daily activity log. It's really great. I wish every county and every sheriff's department had something like this. So I went back to certain dates. Like this one was 12/9. I think I accidentally took the picture of the wrong date and realized that wasn't the date I needed, 11/9. So I started going back, and I started looking into like 11/13. And one of the things that kind of stuck out at me is there were like suspicious person, you know what I'm saying? And this is an 8-minute drive away. This was on 8/13 in Pullman. I'm just, and it says something like Caller found access to their attic and garage open and doesn't know how it became open. Officers responded and checked the attic. I mean, what if he broke into the house and hid the weapon like that? There's odd stuff going on in and around his area too that just kind of give me, like, make the hair on the back of my neck stand up. So, I'm trying to, go through all this and try to make heads or tails, but you guys are more than welcome to go through it. But the Pullman, Washington has, the police incident incident daily logs. You just have to go back to the date and you can look at those. And that might be helpful to, creators that are watching this channel too, that want to do their own due diligence or their investigation. I found one from, that's what it was, 12/9. That's why I had 12/9, because apparently Bryan's dad flew in, and I kept wondering, when did Bryan's dad fly in? But here's another example. Not that this is, I want to make sure I'm very, very clear up front with the disclaimer. This may have nothing whatsoever to do with this case whatsoever, but it just shows you the kinds of stuff I'm looking for. And I don't know what day his dad flew in, but I'm thinking there's an airport, near here as well. And this was it kind of popped out at me, and it says weapon offense complaint. And this is at the airport. So it's at 3200 Airport Complex Inn in Pullman, Mascow Airport, Pullman, Washington. Officer responded to a report of a found weapon. I'm interested in knowing what weapon was found. Was it a knife? Was it a fixed blade knife? We're kind of looking for one of those over here, but it's just stuff like that I'm finding. And then of course, other people are looking at other incidences, like this, where they have, they're looking in, this goes all the way back to October, and it says caller reporting footprints on her windowsill and bed. Officer responded. Another one from 11/6/2022, caller report that they left to get food, and when they came back, the front door was wide open. No one is answering. Officers responded. 11/4/2021, Pullman, Washington. Caller advised the downstairs door is unlocked and the crawl space is open. Officers responded. So are things going on in and around this community that are just a little odd and have a weird vibe to it as to why all these weird things are happening? And they're more stalkerish and peeping Tomish than anything. And if we know anything about criminals, they escalate. The animals, the peeping Tom, then the actual act. Was he building up for this? Was he checking to see if he could get in and out of homes undetected so that he could, hurt one of these girls? The attic being there. Did he do a dry run of, hanging out in an attic to see if he could get in and get out? Did he get scared? What is he doing at night? Is he going to these places? How many times did he drive around looking for a victim? Guys, this is the type of man we're looking at that committed this crime. This is serious shit. Serious shit right here. Looks like he's on drugs, but listen, if he was on H, I don't know much about that. I mean, I've only heard what I've been told when it comes to H. And I hear that when you are on it, I don't know if you ever fully recover, because people are saying that they have to be on Suboxone for the rest of their life. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's a step down. I don't know how that process all works. But I hear that you have horrible withdrawals. You don't die, but it feels like you're dying. That's what's been described to me. And, was he still on drugs? I don't know. I have not really, and I've never really, I've met a lot of recovering addicts, but I don't know very many fully recovered H addicts. You know what I'm saying? Like they always had to have something to level them out, and it seems like they have to do that the rest of their lives. But I don't know. I don't know how that all works. I bet there is brain damage due to the use of hard drugs. I actually, Heidi, it's funny that you say that, because I was trying to explain that to Olivia as well, about that, those chemicals can really damage brain cells. And I was telling her about this really popular kid. I don't want to, say her name publicly online, but she was one of the most popular girls at my school. She got really into drugs, and I ran into her, of all places, the jail, right? And, I'm in there for a bar fight. She's in there for, I guess, drug charges or something like that. But just the way she talked, she just seemed she was so smart and bright. And she's just, just ding, 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 ding. Like there was not a whole lot up there, just bouncing around. There's just a ball bouncing around in that brain, And I remember just looking at her and just thinking, damn. It was just sad, because I remember when we were in school, I wanted to be like her, and I'm in there for some BS, but I'm happy to be me, Lord have mercy. Olivia laughs at me all the time. I guess I must say that like 80 million times a day, but that's okay, because she talks about food 80 million times a day. Did you hear about him threatening the guard and people where he's being held? I heard this ridiculous story. He is a criminology major. He has to know Idaho does not have an insanity defense for the state. So the idea that he's gonna scream insanity is ridiculous. And with that being said, I can't imagine a criminology major saying all that. So the person that just got out of jail for having a fight with her boyfriend, I would like to know how drunk she was, one. Two, I would like to know, her past, to find out if she's, ever done this before, make a lot, fabricate anything. And not only that, but if she was drunk, she could have definitely mistook someone for someone else, because she was saying, oh, you know what I'm saying? She was seeing three of them. Maybe somebody was throwing something her way, but maybe it wasn't him. Oh, Olivia, if you're watching, you just lost your cherry Coke. So I went to IHOP for dinner. It's kind of cool because Olivia's from, oh, there's the keys. Oops. Olivia's from this area. So, I was exhausted. I drove. I did not want, she wanted to go out. She wanted to show me Pike's something or other out here and all this, that, and the other. And it's like, I'm just too tired. I've got to be up, really early in the morning. So, but it's nice. She gets to go meet one of her friends she hasn't seen in a really long time. So she's out with her friend, and I thought it was good. And it gave me some, we used to stuck up each other's butts for over a week, And not only that, but we did a crap ton of planning before we left. It's like, I love her to death, but I don't mind my privacy. I don't mind my privacy for a little bit. So, anyway, I'm starting to get hungry again. Sorry, guys. I had to eat something. But, anyways, so what question? I'm going to go through here and see if I can find some questions, you guys. So, yes, I did hear about that. I don't know. Something in me is just telling me that there's something off with that story. It just doesn't go with the demeanor that has been described to me by people that knew him. Is the problem I'm having. Could it have happened? I'm sure it could have. Do I think it happened? I'm not convinced. I'm really not convinced. He was traumatized from all the bullying, and now he's bullying people. And Pebbles, I believe that, but a lot of people are bullied A lot of people are bullied. I was bullied. I'm sure you were bullied. I mean, everybody has experienced it. You know, people need to learn that. And this comes back to why I think, you know, the people that are required to teach us and teach our children are the schools. Okay, I'm sorry, but boys will be boys. You know, this whole thing, this thing that life is so sweet and nice and picturesque, and you know, you have no problems in life. They're not preparing our children for the real world. They are making this fantasy world where you don't have to have tough skin. They need to be teaching our kids that, hey, you're going to have to deal with bullying in your life. You're going to have to deal with the real world. Life freaking sucks. Nothing's fair. So you might as well prepare for it now. You know, this whole thing of saying, oh, everything's, you know, pink clouds and butterflies and da-da-da, and then they get pushed out in the real world and they fall flat on their ass. You know, they need to be strengthening our children, not weakening our children. That's just my opinion, and I'm sorry for saying that. Maybe some people agree, maybe some people don't agree. It is what it is. But with him, it's just, you know, pseudobulbar effect. I've heard of that before, undercover mermaid. I'm not sure. And for those that, let me just pull that up and I'll just do it from the phone. It makes it easier so I don't have to pop on here. And there's a couple other things that I wanted to discuss. Make sure. Oh, there was another, did I do one? 1129, 11. Oh, there's another one from 1129. Oh, that was the bed. Basement. Oh, that's the one. Caller thinks someone is downstairs in her basement, and that was from 1029. And there was another one from 1029 too, I believe. An hour apart. And the other one, which was also in Pullman, was the footprints on the windowsill and in the bed. So some weird stuff going on in and around there. Is that normal for them? I don't know. I did want to let you know I did reach out to the city of Pullman for public records request. I'm pulling public records. I kept my request short and sweet, so hopefully it won't cost me anything to get them. But if it does, it's going to be minimal. We don't have to raise like $400, $300 to get the records. I do have the disc. Guess what? Can't use the effing disc because I didn't bring the disc reader. I didn't know I needed a disc reader in 2023, but who knew? Who knew? We got some other stuff that I want to. No, that's not it. Okay, here's some stuff. So Bryan Kohberger allegedly stalked the 4 University of Idaho students for weeks before the killing, according to a friend of a cop who tracked him down. We're hearing that a lot. I haven't corroborated that yet, one way or another, whether he really was stalking them, but I have to think he was. Do you think he's going vegan, running at night, taking up boxing, way his preparing for his kills? Yep. You know, it's possible. I'm telling you, there's something in my gut that will not let me let it up. That's telling me this man came here to Washington State University specifically to carry out this act. I don't know why I feel that way. I don't know what is in the pit of my stomach that won't shake. But it keeps telling me he came here specifically for this crime. I don't know why. I'm interested to find out if at his Pennsylvania home, if there's a manifesto. May not have people's names, but he had an idea of what type of victim he wanted. I don't think this was an entanglement. You know, who knows? This could be very well a person that Kaylee went on a date with and walked out of the house because she something creeped her out and she never turned back, and he hated her for that. Right? I mean, it could have happened. I'm not saying it did. Don't go saying, oh, this happened. You know, what about Maddie, Xana? Same thing. Right? All 3 of them. Either one, all of them, you know? But they met him somewhere. And I have a funny feeling where they met him was actually on Wazoo campus when they first ran into him. I can't confirm that. I can't, you know, that's just the theory I'm having. But I think they ran into him on that campus, not the other way around. So we'll see how all that comes out. I can tell you, he has his extradition hearing tomorrow. He's waiving extradition. He's going back. He's going back voluntarily. So they could have him back here by tomorrow evening or early in the mornings, you know, late at night or early morning type thing. I have a funny feeling he's going to be back in Idaho by January 4th. I think he's going to be back. So the probable cause affidavit will be released. I'm monitoring that closely, very, very closely. I've also sent several additional smaller requests to Mascow Police Department. I'm waiting to hear back from those. So we are working on trying to get as much information through the proper channels as possible so we can talk about it on here so you guys have factual information, not speculation. But you got to give me some time because I'm working on getting those requests in. I can tell you last night I worked for a solid hour and a half pushing out record requests in multiple counties across multiple states. And, you know, we'll get and pay for what we need to, but we will have them on this channel. So please, if you guys have not already subbed up to this channel, don't forget to sub up. Again, this is my second tour out to Mascow, Idaho. When I first came out here, we didn't know anything. We knew four people died. We knew one of them followed Olivia on TikTok. It became very personal to us. We went out there to just, you know, bring awareness to the case, keep the case in a spotlight, and just, you know, do what we could to find out anything we were allowed to have. We did everything properly. We did everything through the right channels, and we ended up, you know, garnering some, you know, some attention, so much so that Steve Gonzalez reached out to Olivia because, guys, Kaylee was not just a, you know, passerby subscriber. Like, she loved Chronicles of Olivia. So much so, she kept trying to get Olivia, her sister, to start watching Chronicles of Olivia. So, you know, she really did. And by way of watching Chronicles of Olivia, she's watching me. I'm not that much on TikTok anymore. Since converting over to YouTube, I'll occasionally throw a few videos up every now and again on my TikTok account, but I don't spend a whole lot of time on there. So, but as you know, Olivia and I have been collaborating for well over a year. We're not collaborating on every single case, but we've collaborated on, I would say, about 75 to 80% of the cases that I've covered, Olivia and I have collaborated on. And some of the most national and worldwide cases as well. You know, Gabby Petito garnered national and worldwide attention. Mascow, Idaho, the University the Idaho 4 has garnered national and worldwide attention. You know, we're covering some major cases the best we can. And the other cases that aren't as major, that don't get those worldwide and national headlines, you know, if it calls for it, we will make sure it gets national headlines, because no matter what I have to do, I will get it done. If I got to go out there and stand on my head and scream in a freaking bullhorn just to get some attention for this case, I will do whatever it takes to make sure these cases are heard and more eyes are brought on them. My brother is Bryan. What does it say? My brother is a Bryan and never married. He's had long-term relationship, but never married. He's a really good, caring guy with lots of friends, though. Oh, and he never murdered. Cute. I did get a chuckle, and you didn't have to say ha-ha to get it. Okay, so yeah, we got almost 1,200 people in the chat right now. So if you guys have not gone out and liked this segment, please do. I am right now I'm in Washington. I'm in the state of Washington. We were at the Washington State University for the last several days. I can tell you it's like a ghost town there. We went to several different places. We've talked to a friend. We've talked to several people in and around the community, unconnected to the case, but just to get their vibe. I actually had an opportunity. Oh, and we went to Latah County Courthouse. We did. And the jail is connected to the damn courthouse. That's what pisses me off, because I know he's going to be here like by the 4th. And it's like, if my trip and plans and everything, we could get him, because there is no underneath of that jail. He's got to be walked in a door. You know damn well my ass would be camped out there until I saw his ass brought into that damn jail. And I'd be hooting and hollering all the way. I may even have went up to Walmart and got me a new bullhorn just so I can scream out, good job. You know, Bryan, why'd you do it? You know, and that's the question here. He is the boogeyman. Why? You know, why would he, why? What's the fascination with injuring and harming innocent people? I don't get it. You know, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand how causing somebody that much pain, causing families that much pain, can ever make anybody feel good. I call me crazy. I just don't get it. I would never want to hurt anybody like that. I would never want anybody to feel that kind of grief. I mean, there's nothing anybody could do for me to wish that upon them, ever. Hey guys, I see Proud Mama in the house. It's nice to see you. Can you imagine being a parent of an accused killer like this? Oh my gosh, no, I can't. But you know what? Damn it, if the parents aren't, you know, I understand, love your children, give them the best attorney. You know, you do those things and they sound like great parents. But damn. When's enough, man? That's just a rotten dude. He's a rotten dude. You know, but good parents, they love their children no matter what. I just wish they would have gotten him help. You know, I really do. I wish they would have gotten him help, the help that he needed. Maybe we wouldn't be here. Sometimes, you know, shoveling stuff under the rug can only fix things for so long and they just boil over. Was this a case of that? What happened to him? What if he was not, guys? You know, everybody's saying he was bullied in school. You know, what if this was not just from mere bullying? You know, did anybody ever take into consideration this kid may have been SA'd by somebody? Because I'm telling you, when I hear the kinds of turns that he made, you know, the massive weight loss, the massive dietary changes, the interjection of drugs, and not just normal run-of-the-mill drugs. You're talking about hardcore Skid Row drugs. Like, something happened in this kid's life that nobody knew. They seen a massive change in the behavior of their child. And again, they sound like great people, and they sound like they are going, you know, they are victims too. You know, they're going through pain as well. They're losing their son as well. For these parents, I haven't found anything that would make me believe. I mean, his father did come back and pick him up. I'm questioning that a little bit, but I'm trying really hard because we have people corroborating how nice and sweet these people are. I am, you know, just sitting here waiting for the explanation as to why his father flew there to drive him back. You would think that it would probably have been, you know, easier for Bryan to fly home and then work out suitable driving stuff than his father coming here and then them trucking the car, you know, across the country. I can't figure out that. But he's conniving. He's cunning. You know, I'm sure he manipulated his mom and dad and has been manipulating his mom and dad for years. You know, and mom and dad are not going to believe because they've got their son took a turn for the good. You know, he went to college. He got his bachelor's. He's got his master's. And now he's working on his PhD. Listen, just because you've got a drug problem doesn't mean you're stupid, right? Could he have been going to all these classes and staying up because he has these drug problems? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Resolutions are out. Goals are what I'm after too. All right, Heidi, welcome to the Goal Crew. We'll head it over the goal line for 2023. Just Samantha. Successful people always said to make their bed every day. Yep, that is true. That is the one thing Bullhorn Betty misses every single morning. At least until after coffee club. Okay. At least until after coffee club. Okay. That's more important than making the bed. Sorry. No, just joking. Oh, thank you. Sonny says, show your love for BHB by clicking that thumbs up button. Please, guys, go out there and click that thumbs up button. And I've got some other stuff like this. The house is still an active crime scene. You know, that whole court order kind of put that. But we do have some photos that are coming out. I don't know how many of you guys have seen these. You know, this, I mean, there's a lot of these pictures where he does look like a drug addict. This was when he was heavier set. This is about when our John Doe knew him, because he said he knew him before he had the massive weight loss, and he was with him up until he lost all the weight, and then he started changing. Oh, who are those beautiful girls? You guys didn't see? I'm just going to go through here. Yeah, and we got a portion of this probable cause affidavit, which really concerns me, because I heard that the probable cause affidavit was sealed, but then I realized it was sealed. It was sealed here in Mascow, Idaho, and this is the probable cause affidavit for the arrest over in Pennsylvania. So it just goes in to say, you know, that this officer is so-and-so. I'll just read it for you guys if I can. Affidavit of probable cause. This is for 12/30/2022. This is the arrest in Pennsylvania. Your affiant is a trooper, Justin M. Leary of Pennsylvania State Police. Troop in since 2009. I have served, blah, blah, blah. Your affiant trooper Brian Knoll of Pennsylvania, blah, 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 blah. On Thursday, December 30th, 2022, the Pennsylvania State Police were assisting Mascow Police Department, Mascow, Idaho, State Police and FBI with a criminal homicide investigation. On the same date, Bryan C. Kohberger was taken into custody in Chestnut Hill Township, Monroe County Police Department, and Latah County Prosecutor Office, Idaho. And that's pretty much all it says. And I duly swear that the affiant, blah, 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 but no real information on that. And of course, you know, he was trained by the famed killer. There's also some more information that I have in my email that I do want to go over with you guys, and some of it's just questions that have come up. So let me go here, and here's one. It says, time to go and look for other unsolved murders in the areas that he frequented. It'd be highly unusual for him to have started with 4 people. Very interesting and very scary. I wonder how many people or how many counties, you know, he lived in a desolate area. It sounds like his community of Albrightville has 400 people or something. You know, I could be wrong about that. I didn't look into it myself. I just heard through the grapevine that that's what I heard. So that may be absolutely incorrect. But there's also other information coming out. Give me a second while it loads up. Oh, and then it's just going through all the, you guys see that? There we go. All the responses. Lots of weird stuff going on, you know, in the area. I'm interested in pulling, maybe I will pull some records, you know, prior to him arriving in Pullman and then him after arriving in Pullman. Was he doing this strange behavior? Was he doing weird stuff? Was he having test runs, you know, unbeknownst to the community? Is this all related? And we're just, and we just didn't know this whole time that it was all related. I mean, there's just some scary stuff. There's stuff that's going through my head that just makes me very uneasy. Here's another one. Many of you guys are concerned because you guys believe it was there. It is possible. I don't know. These photos are grainy. I need to look at the photos that we have, or the photos of other people that went to that memorial at the Kitty Dome. And that's where Olivia and I were. We were there at that memorial. I tried to live stream that memorial, but the connection, when everybody lit their phones and everything, it killed my connection until that was done, and then it got dark. So, they turned down the lights, but we were there for that memorial service at the Kitty Dome on the University of Idaho campus. It's hard to believe that we were there for that. We've been here in Idaho for a lot. We were here when they announced the murderer of the Idaho 4. We went to his apartment while they were processing his apartment. We were there with the crime scene tape up. I was there when Detective Payne showed up there. I had an opportunity to tell him thank you. I had an opportunity to speak with Captain Lanier in front of King Road. These are experiences that only we can have here. Nobody else. The Chronicles of Olivia and I were the ones that had those experiences with all of you guys. There's no other creator that can tell you that. None. We were in front of Wazoo. That's another thing I forgot to tell you guys about. Do you know we are the first people, reporters and creators, that went to the Wazoo campus and said that the suspect could be there, that actually even brought in Wazoo into this case? It was this channel here that made the connection that it could potentially be somebody over on the Wazoo campus. Yeah, true. If you don't believe me, it was posted. Go in my channel. Go back to when we had our first trip. We were here. Oh, Lord. Lordy, 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 right? And Olivia laughs at me all the time for that. I can't remember what date we were here last time. I was say I can check my checking account. That'll tell me when. When it goes zoop, that's when I was there. Yeah. Let's see here. I can't remember. Does anybody know when we were here? Was it the 20th? Why do I keep thinking the 20th? It wasn't long after this happened. I think we were here like a week after this stabbing was done, because it's been a while. Because after we got here, another creator came out here that's not affiliated, but that we've collaborated with quite a bit over the last year. And he came out here after us, and then we were already planning on coming back here because of the personal invite from Mr. Gonzalez Olivia had. So, it was, she needed to bring me with her. So we were here, and I'm glad we were here. I got to be honest with you. One of the hardest things was looking her mom in the eye, and I'm talking about Kaylee's mom in the eye. She was telling stories and just seeing, all of them, really just seeing the brokenness and knowing there's nothing you can do or say to ever fix that. That was really hard. I actually broke down in tears inside the Gonzalez family home. We were packing up and leaving, and, her mom and sister were taking us around, showing us pictures of Kaylee, pictures of their life. And there were 2 boxes on top in their living room. And she was even letting us know that they're still together. And, that there was just some, personal, intimate stuff. It was hard. And it was like, I didn't catch it at first. She says that the urns hadn't gotten here yet. And I saw this, I'm like, just like the light bulb clicked on my head, like Maddie and Kaylee are right there. And I mean, tears just started flooding. I felt so unprofessional, but sometimes you just can't help it. I mean, you just can't. I mean, if I'm like that and I, only know these girls from just, watching their lives as I'm researching this case, if I'm feeling that emotional, I mean, the parents, that's got to be that times, a million for them. And it breaks my heart. It almost takes my breath away. It really does. It almost takes my breath away. Probably switch to Adderall to stay up and study. Yeah, it might be. Guys, I don't know. This guy's the dude. This guy's cray cray, like super cray cray. Thank you, Angie Lee. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for the super sticker. And I know there's another one, and I'm sorry I missed a couple. Actually, I don't think I've gotten to it yet. I'm so far behind in the chat. I've just been yap. But I haven't been with you guys in a couple days. I mean, we drove around, but I didn't have an opportunity to really speak with you guys. So it was kind of nice. Olivia's getting to see one of her childhood friends, her very best friend. I'm sitting here. I get to hang out with all of you. It's just nice. It's nice. It's nice. Hello, Penny. B. Betty fan, I see you in here. Nice to see you. Justice for All. Nice to see you too. I knew you were. I felt you in here. When I saw House of Williams, I'm like, Justice for All. He's lurking somewhere. Where is he? I know he's got better makeup than me. So I'm just teasing. Come on. Oh, Lord. Yeah, got this. Says rest in peace, Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. Absolutely. And what's so sad for me is like even this case, has 4 victims, and really only 2 victims are being kind of talked about. And I feel bad for Ethan and Xana because they were loved, and their families are suffering as well, suffering gravely. But I think they kind of went out of the spotlight. Steve fought for his daughter. He has my utmost respect. He fought for both of his daughters, and that they made it a point to let us know that Maddie has been in their family for years. Maddie is their 6th child. It's always Maddie and Kaylee. And so this idea, and this was a tight knit family. This was a blended family. It's just blended differently. Instead of a husband and a wife coming together and blending their families, it was 2 best friends that came together and blended their families into one. And they were one tight knit family. She was loved. She's got some amazing sisters. I didn't have the opportunity to meet her brothers, but I did get to see. I spent and spoke mostly with Olivia, but she does have 2 other sisters, Autumn and Aubrey. I think it's the youngest, and but she was very fortunate to have those, and just hearing Autumn's just memories of her sister, it's hard not to cry. Just hearing Autumn's story, it's hard because, it sounded like she looked up to her older sister and had her sister helped her so many ways. So I don't know if the memorial was online or not because I was in the audience and I haven't even had a chance to look for a good copy of that. So we could talk about it, but I can tell you that her story, her sister got pregnant young and she was going through a really bad breakup. And apparently Kaylee really helped her. She was scared. She felt alone. She was pregnant at a young age. They still had the parents to talk to. It's just a lot of stuff, stuff like that. That's a big sister. You know what I'm saying? And she lost that. She lost her best friend. This family was so tight knit that they were all each other's best friends. And I can't describe it anything other than that. It was like It just sounds like one big, loud, happy family. Has anybody watched that? My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That's kind of how I kind of foresee, Kaylee and Maddie's, blended family. It's just, they're very outgoing, very loud, very vivacious, just a lot of love and a lot of family. A lot of people over the years, your families grow away. I mean, I'm a prime example. I barely see my mom. I don't see my dad. I talk to my sister once in a while. I never see my older sister. 'Cause I'm just kind of here, alone, where I forget that, families are, do things with each other and hang out. And, I forget that because I'm always on the go, 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 go. And it's just, that was their family. It was great. And she was very lucky to have such wonderful people in her life. And we got to experience that and see that. And it was just, it was very special. And it was very much an honor and a privilege to be here. I'm so thankful and happy that the day of Maddie, oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. I didn't even read your, I'm so sorry. Good Lord. That's what I always say, that Olivia drives Olivia nuts. Okay, Southern Girl TN says, BHB, I had a stroke in my left eye and I'm watching you, Justin and Olivia, with one. I love you all. Oh, thank you. Well, I hope you have a speedy recovery. I had a stroke in my left eye. So, or is it not working, or are they going to, what's the prognosis on that? I hope it, you can see in it good. Speedy recovery. God bless you. Thank you for being here, by the way. So I'm sorry. I think it's time for me to go to bed. I'm tired. I'm really tired. It's worse. Like, I am not a parent. I had grandchildren and stuff like that. The whole kid things. My ex-husband has two daughters, and they were 16, 17 by the time him and I got together. So it was crazy, but I don't usually give curfews. Now with my stepdaughter, you leave me with 3 kids. Yeah, you got a curfew. And if you're not here by that time, don't ask me to babysit them again. Like, yeah, you screw me once, shame on you. Screw me twice, shame on me, right? There will not be a third time. So it's, so I felt so bad because Olivia's like, do you mind if I come? And I'm like, no, I don't mind to go out with your friend. Go out with your friend, man. I get to have the room to myself and some peace and quiet and some space and stuff. Yeah, man. No prob, Bob, right? And so I'm like, but at least check in with me. Right? And so then she put find my phone. So now I get to track her. I'm tracking Olivia, making sure she's safe. No, I am not tracking her, but I can track her if I so choose. That's why she put it on my phone. But I felt so bad because I feel like the, mom. I'm not mom, right? And I'm like, So she kind of said, she's like, I'll be back at 12. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work for my schedule. So sorry, babe. She's like, 11. I'm like, try again. She's like, 10. I'm like, oh, that sounds much better. Yes, I did. Sorry. I know, mom. Listen, I'm sorry. I know, mom. And I'm not, I don't want to be killed getting off, the plane, right? Mom will have my hide, right? And it was funny because I went across the street. I asked her, I said, are you going to eat with your friend or do you want to go eat? And she's like, no, I'm going to eat with my friend. I said, okay, great. I got to go get something to eat. I'm starving. So I go across the way and get myself some dinner. Well, anyways, I come back here. And she's on the phone with her mom. I said, does your mom know you're leaving? I just want to make sure I don't get in trouble for anything, right? I'm serious. I love her to death, I'm a little unnerved because, Mom never leaves her with anybody. We're always together. And both of these trips out to Idaho, she's had to entrust me with her bundle of joy twice in the snow. And I'm a Florida girl, right? So we're safe and everything. But I just know if I screw up, she's going to kill me. So I'm making sure, like, we rock a thin line here. It's like, Olivia, it's time to come home. All right. So it's just funny. I felt like a mom. I'm like, oh, good Lord. Olivia's going to hate me. Mountain kayaker, you and Olivia make a great team. Oh, thank you. Yes, we do a lot of great work together. I think Kaylee is from Idaho. Yes, she is from Coeur d'Alene. Being respectful doesn't including the gore of these cases. You don't get credit if your glory is being in the gore. Being respectful doesn't include. I don't know if you're trying to be rude or not, but listen, I've had a long day. If you don't like the shit going on on my channel, please leave. Nobody's asking you to watch, and nobody's putting a gun to your head and forcing you. So if you don't like the content, get the fuck out. That easy. Bye. Lord. My patience is wearing thin with these damn strolls. Like, I don't even give a shit anymore. You guys want to come here and learn about true crime? If you're a true crime junkie, come over here. I go out to these cases. I'm not sitting in my, from my office discussing these cases. Sometimes we do, if it warrants it. Right? I'm out here. And it's crazy to me. I'm listening to some of these people that are talking about this case, and it's like, you got that wrong, 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 you got that wrong. Nope, that's not right either. Nope, not right. Then I come over to my side, it's like, okay, we got that right, got that right, got that right, got that right, got that right. It's like, why would you be listening to a couch potato when you got people out there with boots on the ground, heels on the ground, looking into cases, looking at information, and telling that back to you? Like, we're right here. I've got a disc of actual documents from the police department. Who doesn't want the real deal? Why would you go over to Joe Blow and listen to conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory that doesn't even hold water, doesn't make sense, and is ruining people's lives? Meanwhile, you can come over here to the Bullhorn Betty channel, Chronicles of Olivia, JLR, Dolly Vision, a number of other channels, and get actual facts to listen to actually formulate an opinion based upon true facts. Just doesn't make sense to me. Just didn't make sense to me. So all you guys out there in YouTube world, don't forget to subscribe, like this channel, like this segment. But anyways, guys, as you know, I'm very exhausted. I've got a way early morning. When you see what time I'm on, if I'm on at 7:30 in the morning, you got to remember, that's like 3:30 here, okay? Yes. Now you know why I told Olivia to get her ass back here by 10. I am not waiting up past 10, and I want to make sure her ass is in this bed before I can go to sleep. And I've got to be up way too early to be pussyfooting around till midnight. Say, somebody's going to kick me out of here. All right, guys, I love you. God bless each and every one of you. We are going to be back. We're going to be back. I don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow or not because, well, I might have some time because you know what? I'll tell you guys something special. Olivia and Bullhorn Betty go wild in Las Vegas. Coming to you tomorrow. So come back here. All right, guys. Peace out.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.